guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about iconic drugstore makeup. This video is basically going to be about just the best of the best makeup that's been around for a really long time at the drugstore. And the majority of this stuff I have never tried before. So I figured I would get a bunch of stuff and we would try it out. Like I have the Maybelline Great Lash. This is probably the most iconic mascara ever and I've never tried it. I have the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I've never tried this. I have the L'Oreal True Match. I've seen this forever and I've never tried it. And some stuff I have that I have tried that kind of made me go back into my makeup collection, dig it all up and try again. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm super excited. And I have a bunch of stuff like Coty Spun, Instant Age Rewind. I have some Wet n Wild stuff, just a bunch of nothing new from the drugstore, but stuff that I haven't tried. I love drugstore makeup, I love saving money, and I really these are stuff that people have talked about for a really long time and really haven't had the opportunity to try them, so I'm excited. Before we jump into the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also hit that bell so you stay notified. I upload every Monday. I haven't been uploading on Friday. I'm changing up the schedule, but for right now, it's every single Monday. But definitely hit that bell so you are alerted to future changes. All right, so let's jump right in. I'm gonna bring you guys just a little bit closer because I'm gonna start with the eyes first. I did do my brows off camera because I don't know what iconic brows are. Did we even fill in our brows back then? I just used the Morphe pencil that I've been loving. I just used the Morphe micro brow pencil and the pomade from Morphe. These two are so good. So I just did that and I figured I'd do it off camera because kind of brows get boring after a while. But we're gonna start with the eyes first and I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I brought you guys in. Hopefully you can see me, see my eyes. My skin is looking freaking terrible. I need to get a facial super soon, so I will be doing that this weekend. I'm also wearing the comfiest sweater today. I got it at Walmart yesterday for 10 bucks. I was like, okay, thank you Walmart. I think my skin is looking so bad because of all the chocolate I ate. I'm filming this video on Friday. It's the day after Halloween and I got no trick-or-treaters. So what did I do yesterday? Ate a whole bunch of chocolate. For eyes today, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Rose in the Air, a little palette here. I don't really know what people used back in the day. I think they use quads. So I figured I would get something similar to that where you get a good amount of shades, but it's very drugstore. So this is what the shades look like. It's super pretty. I have tried one of these before. I had the Natural Peach one. This one's kind of different, so I didn't want to use the same palette, so I figured I'd just try this one out. It has some pretty tones in here, so we're going to use that one today. For priming my lids, since I have not been liking priming with concealer, I picked up the e.l.f. Primer. I've definitely heard a lot about this, so I figured I might as well try it. This is $3. The reason I don't like priming with concealer anymore is because I think that it makes my eyeshadow skip. So when it goes on and I try to blend it, it just ends up skipping. And I feel like eyeshadow primers will make your eyeshadow last super long. So I'm just blending this out with an e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. That's cool, it's not oily, which is nice. I've heard a lot about that, but I've never tried it. So that is what this day is all about. Just to make sure that nothing moves around, I'm going to use the lightest shade in this little palette. It's just this white one. It's almost like an eggshell color. And I'm just going to set that. All right, before we start, I'm just going to pop my hair up really quick. To start out, I think I'm going to use the transition shade in here, which is this one right here. It's almost like a cool tone brown, so I'm just gonna start off with that. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'll figure it out. All I know is I really want to do a smoky liner today, so I think it's what I'm gonna do. Wet n Wild shadows are extremely pigmented and blendable. Hopefully this palette is just as good, so I'm just gonna blend this basically as my transition as it says. And I'm using the Morphe M504, which is my favorite blending brush. It's just really fluffy and you're able to blend out shadows super easily with this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the shade that's like almost like a rose color or cranberry color. I'm just gonna put that and try to intensify my crease. This shade definitely is not as pigmented as I would like it, but it's kind of a tough shade. It's almost like a purpley maroon color. I'm using an M441 and I use like just my Profusion crease brush to apply that. This brush, I'm just using it, it's clean, so I'm just taking it and blending at the edges. All right, it's not looking that great, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye and then we will continue on. Usually Wet n Wild shades are very powdery, they have a ton of fallout, and that's why they're probably pigmented and are very easy to blend since they are so inexpensive. This one, I'm digging in this pan and there's no fallout. So I think this one just got pressed a little too hard. It could just be this palette that I have and not like all of these palettes are like that. To make the crease a little bit more intense, I'm gonna take the second to darkest shade in here. I'm just gonna take that and hopefully we get some more pigment. I think we are. And I'm just going to kind of build up this crease just to make it a little bit more structured and intense. There we go, that looks so much better. I think that looks good as far as the intensity. It's getting a little messy, you can see like over here, but once the foundation goes on, it'll work itself out. I really want to cut my, hold on. I would love to cut my crease right now, but I'm not going to. I've been cutting my crease like freaking crazy. So what I'm gonna do is use, all right, so I'm gonna pick up this shimmery shade right here, which is this one right here. And I'm gonna wet it and hopefully that will give us something. Just using my ColourPop All Star Matte Setting Powder, setting spray, excuse me. The only reason I use this one, you can use anything, I just don't use that setting spray a lot. Not the best shimmer I've ever used in my life. It is very crumbly, it's kind of getting everywhere, but doesn't look bad. The eyes are looking a little messy, but we're gonna clean it up later. I'm gonna mix this shade and this shade together, and I'm just gonna pop this right here to make sure the outer edge of the shimmer doesn't look too bad. I really want to do some smoky eyeliner today, so I'm going to use the darkest shade in here, which is this one right here, and I'm going to do just a little bit of smoky eyeliner, and I've been really liking it lately because it kind of is not as intense as a liquid black eyeliner. I'm going to use that dark shade in here, and hopefully it works out. Okay, so the smoky eyeliner is done. I actually really like it. I went a little too long with my lines, but it's all good. I actually really like working with like shadow to do my eyeshadow liner is because it is so easy to just like wipe away and forget about it. All in all, this palette is really nice. The only problem I had was with that shadow. I don't think every single one of these Rose in the Air palettes is like that. I just think I got a bad batch, but every single other shadow that I used was really nice and I didn't have an issue. I do not have a primer because I don't know like what is like an old iconic primer, so I'm just gonna go with that today. I'm gonna spray my face with a little bit of the Wet n Wild natural finish just to give me a little bit of like primer water, and I'm just gonna spray this a little bit. Like I said, we're going to jump into the L'Oreal True Match. This is the shade N5.5. I think I'm just going to leave you guys at this portion of my face. I'm not going to pull you guys out again. We're just going to leave it like this for right now. But this is what the component looks like. I'm sure you've seen this. I've seen this literally everywhere since I think I was in high school. It doesn't have a pump or anything, so I'm just gonna hopefully drip some out. Ooh, the ton comes out, all right. Still liquidy foundation, good to know. I'm gonna go ahead and wet my sponge. I'm just gonna use my Morphe sponge and I'll be right back. So I'm back, I have my sponge. I poured a tidbit too much. This is what it looks like, just so you can see. It is very runny. It's going to pop in here. Like I said before, it is going to be a very dark shade for me, but I'm trying to be good and match my chest. This matches my chest a lot better, as you can see. I don't want to get anything on my shirt. See, it's very dark. So I'm gonna have to drag this down. Ooh, child. I wanted to do a video where I declutter my foundations because I have been buying foundations to match my face and not the rest of my body. My face is extremely lighter than the rest of my body. First impressions, this is nice. As far as coverage and the way it looks. I've never used this, and I feel like where I've heard about this the most is from like makeup artists for like runway and stuff. They say that this is probably their favorite drugstore foundation, and when I read that, I was like, oh, that means this is probably going to be a little bit lighter, because usually with foundations for runway and stuff like that, things tend to be a bit lighter than like YouTube or Instagram. So, but this is nice. It is definitely a little bit darker than my chest. All right there, girl. But I'm gonna bronze everything up, and I think it will be fine. I understand like why when I do this, it looks like my perfect shade. I don't know if you can see that, but when I put it on my chest, it looks literally like the perfect shade for me, and on my face, it looks crazy. Alright, we're gonna look crazy today. That's okay, I'm gonna zip this up and you'll never know. Putting my hand next to my face, I just put a little bit of the foundation on my hand, and it kind of matches. It's a little bit darker, but like, I look very orange right now, and I'm not happy about that. This is why I match my face, not my chest. It is a matte foundation, but it's actually really nice because it doesn't say matte, but it says oil free, so I'm guessing that means that. There is like a tiny bit dewiness, but I think when I set my makeup, it's going to be very matte, which is all good. For concealer, like I said, I have the Instant Age Rewind. This is in the shade Sand Sable. I can't say I love this concealer. I know it's super overhyped and a lot of people talk about this one, but it's nice. It's not my favorite concealer. I don't really like this. It definitely works. So this is definitely a lot lighter than my face right now, so that's gonna work out. So I'm gonna click this thing forever. So you can see it's definitely lighter. So I'm gonna use that to my advantage. Blend this concealer in. I guess the reason I don't like this sponge is that like there's no way to clean it. So I feel like it's very unsanitary. That is my feeling about it. I just think it's really just kind of gross that you can't really clean that little sponge there. I'd much rather a doe foot or like a squeezy tube. But the concealer itself is actually really nice. That looks a ton better than when we started. Everything looks definitely a lot lighter. So thank the Lord I don't look crazy. For powder, I have the Coty Spun, which is probably the oldest setting powder ever. It was established in 1935, so this is the oldest powder ever. It is very iconic as far as powders go. This is like the thing they used to use to like powder, oh God, to powder their face. So I'm gonna go ahead and douse myself in this. If you don't know, this smells like grandma's. My grandma smells like this. I really enjoy the powder itself. I just wish they would come out with a unscented version. I'd be fine with the scent if it just was like there for like 2 seconds, you set your face and you were done. It hangs around. So that is why I do not enjoy this powder. It is definitely not the truest translucent powder out there, but it's nice. You can see that my face has lightened up a whole lot. So if I'm ever in a jam like I just was, where this foundation looks way too dark with me, I will use this powder because it definitely lightens it up. Unlike the Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent one, this one's a very, very, very true translucent where it doesn't change the color of your foundation, which I tend to like more because I have a little bit more control. Now that I smell like an old woman, old grandmother, let's put this aside and move on to bronzer. I'm so excited to try this iconic butter bronzer. Everyone says that it smells super good, so I can somewhat smell it from outside, but I really want to open it up. Physicians Formula is an expensive brand, so that's why I've never purchased it, because it's like 16 bucks. And my favorite BH Cosmetics bronzer is like 6 bucks, so I really enjoyed the packaging. Like, look how cool this is. I got the shade Sunkissed bronzer. This is what it looks like on the inside. When you open it up, you have a mirror right here, which is really nice. And then you have this brush. Oh my God, it does smell really good. It smells like suntan lotion. You get this brush, which I don't understand anything about this, because the brush, it's like a silicone brush, which please don't put bronzer on with this thing. Yeah, no, I'm gonna put that aside and we're not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna use my R7 by Morphe and we're gonna dip into here and see what happens. This is nice though. It's not super pigmented, so it's like nice because you can build it up. And I'm not super in love with the shade, but that was my own fault because that was Walmart's fault because they were out of it. But I think it does a good job of chiseling the cheeks. And I actually really like this. Wow. I'm impressed, Physicians Formula. This one was accurate for sure. Just to clean up the bottom jaw area, just to make sure that there's a difference between my jaw and my cheeks, I'm gonna go back into the powder and just cut out the bottom. Just with the same brush. This is just like a BH Cosmetics fluffy brush, and I just put that away. All right, for blush, I have the Milani Luminoso blush. I feel like everyone on YouTube uses this at some point or another. I have never tried it. I figured why not try it today. It is like a baked one, and I do think that this has some sort of shimmer on it. I just put it on my hand. Some sort of shimmer in there. I don't like shimmery blushes, but we're gonna try this one out today. This is super powdery, whoa. Yeah, I don't think I'd like that. It's a little too light for me. Like, you can barely see it on my face. It looks just like it has shimmer. It does come with the brush, which is nice. This is the type of brush that I'm talking about. It is definitely very cheap, but these can be nice to chisel the nose with. I wouldn't throw them away. So that's nice. It does end up with a mirror on the bottom. I'm not a fan of this blush. It's way too light for me. And no. No. I'm gonna go ahead and scrub my face one more time with the Wet n Wild Natural Spray, just to get rid of all that powder. This is a very intense spritzer, so definitely be careful. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. Sorry, that took me a long time to read. I don't know why. This is in the shade Brownie Brows. And I actually don't really love this one because it is like the spoolie gets way too coated. The stopper isn't stopping enough. After I powder my face, my brows do tend to be a little bit faded since I do my eyes first. So you can see I just put it in there and you get like a ton of product comes up. So I have to like scrape it up on the brush. So for highlighter, I have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighter in Precious Petals. This is probably the #1 highlighter at the drugstore. I have used this before and it is so pretty. I actually got a new brush. It is a dupe for the Anastasia highlighter brush. It is from Coty and this is their highlighter brush. And this is what it looks like. It's actually really nice. I'm gonna use it for the first time right now. This highlighter is just freaking gorgeous and it's $5. It's so nice. I don't know what was the first highlighter at the drugstore, but I'm thinking it's this one just because, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that Maybelline and L'Oreal or CoverGirl had a highlighter, but I love this freaking highlighter. This brush is really nice. And I love the color of this one too. The whole thing is the Precious Petals one. It's just so freaking pretty. The bottom lash line, jumping right back into that little palette here. I'm gonna take this straight brush from Shop Massé and I'm gonna tap into that shade that we had issues with, which is just like that rosy shade. And I'm just going to literally shake the brush to get some pigment, and I'm gonna put that right on. Oh, there we go. There's some pigment. I literally just like took the brush and went like to get as much pigment as possible. And I'm just gonna put that as close to the lash line as possible. Just to blow that out a little bit and make it a little bit more smoky, I'm gonna use the lavender shade in here. It's not really lavender, it's almost like a gray. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of this. Let's move on to probably the most iconic item in this video, which is the Maybelline Great Lash. This has probably been around, I don't even know, since like the 80s. My mom had one of these. Probably your mom had one of these. Like, this has been around forever and there's still a ton of them for sale. Like, there was definitely different ones, but there was a ton of them. I went to CVS and Walmart, just in case you're wondering. I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes really quick and then we'll jump in to this guy. The brush looks super small. It almost looks like a tinted brow mascara. So this is the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara and this is the Great Lash by Maybelline. So what I'm saying is very small. It's super small. This is way too big for what it is, but I just wanted to show you that the actual brush is very small. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on and see what happens. No. 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 This does absolutely nothing. Coming out of the tube, I was like, oh, it's a nice and dry formula because I tend to like a drier mascara. Like, I'll even let my mascaras dry out a little bit and then that's kind of like peak mascara level to me. I don't know. But this is kind of getting everywhere. It's all under my under eye and it's a little too wet, and if I come a little bit closer, I don't know if you can see, but it's not doing anything for my lashes. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that. That did nothing for me. But I feel like I need that already. But there's so many people that love this. Like, there are so many people that love this. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. And I'm just gonna use the highlighter from Wet n Wild. Alrighty, so for lips, I ended up getting the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit. I don't know what the first liquid lipstick was at the drugstore, so I just figured I got this. I got a new shade. I actually bought it yesterday. This is Give Me Mocha. I think it's gonna go really perfect with the eyes. Let's jump right into this. I think the lips look freaking fantastic. I love this color, especially for fall. It is gorgeous. This one is definitely a little bit more messy. The liquid catsuit tends to be a little bit more messier or not as opaque when you get darker in their line of liquid lipsticks. I have one that is like a peach color and I never had problems with that one, but this one's like very, very messy and I had to like clean up the edges and go in again. But I think it looks really nice. It's very matte and it looks so good. I wasn't gonna pop on lashes, but since that mascara did me nothing, I'm gonna go ahead and use the e.l.f. Luxe Lash Kit in the style Winged and Bold. I've used this in a different video in my full face Pacifica video, so I have definitely worn these before and they are gorgeous. They're so pretty and very natural. I'm not into super dramatic lashes. Depends on what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna pop these on and then we'll go through the products, things that I will use again and things that I think you should try out. Okay, so lashes are on. That was a process. I ended up going with a different pair from e.l.f. It is from their Winged and Bold, but it's a different kind of lashes. The ones that I was going to put on, I think I've worn them a little too much and they're a little mangled. One was looking great and the other one was like, not happening. But these, I like them. They're the type of style that I like, where it goes longer on the outside and shorter on the insides to make your eyes look a little bit bigger, but they're a little too dramatic for me. The other ones are definitely a lot more natural. So I'm gonna go through the products super quickly and we're gonna talk about what worked and what didn't, and what I think out of all these really iconic drugstore products, which ones I think you should try. So I'm gonna start off with the face first, and obviously we didn't have a primer, but the L'Oreal True Match foundation. I like this. It's a little too matte for me. I do tend to like dewier foundations. I also wish that this had a pump. I mean, I think we're like past the day and age where we just have this, like, okay. But it's not a big deal. It is a liquidy foundation. It's easy to pour out. It's not like a thick foundation and they have it like this, so you're like sitting here forever. But I think if you have oily skin, this is great. It is definitely not dewy at all. It is oil free. So I will definitely use this again on probably in the summer, not so much now because I am more into dewier foundations at the moment. For the summer, like things a little bit more matte, but again, I've only worn this for right now for probably about like 2 hours. It looks really nice. I actually really ended up liking it. The coverage is a lot more than I thought it would, and the shade, we ended up making it work. I definitely have to remember that when I use it in the summertime. Instant Age Rewind is definitely really nice. It's definitely, it's not like my everyday, but I think for certain occasions, it's a nice concealer. It is definitely full coverage, crank up as much coverage as you want, kind of. So I think it's nice. I wish they would redesign it to get rid of the little sponge. I just don't like that. Coty Spun, it is a classic. Like I said, I like this powder a lot. I actually almost kind of like that it lightens your foundation, because in a situation like today where this was way too dark for me, I think using this powder you kind of can get away with going a little bit darker. I am the shade of my chest right now, so I need to figure out what that shade is. But I actually like this powder, I just don't like the smell, and please, Coty Spun, come out with the unscented version. We've been telling you for years. The Butter Bronzer was probably the most surprising product from today's video. I like this. I like this. Like, I will definitely use this again. This is so nice. So nice. Does it replace my BH Cosmetics bronzer? No. But it is so nice to know that there's something, like if I'm gonna jam somewhere, I can just go to CVS or Walmart or whatever. This one you do have to order online. There's definitely a convenience to that, and I like it. It is definitely on the expensive side, but look out for sales. Pharmacies and stuff have tons of sales. I did buy it at Walmart, so I got it for the cheapest. Usually Walmart has the cheapest prices. The Milani Luminoso Blush just was not for me. I don't like shimmer, and I don't really like that the shade is so light. Like, I wish that the blush looked like what it looks like in the pan, but it really doesn't. It just looks very sheer. I don't see it in my face at all. So if you're someone that doesn't mind some sort of shimmer in their blushes and you are of the fairer complexion, I think this is actually really nice. If I had to choose a blush to use from Milani, I would use their other ones, that look like a flower. I think those look a lot nicer than this. The highlighter, it speaks for itself. It is so freaking beautiful. Like I said, I've used this before, and if you're looking for a highlighter that you want to spend less than $5 on, this is just great. This is a no-brainer for me. I definitely think the color matters, so definitely go and pick up the Precious Petals. That is the best one, I think. I do have another one that's like more of a purpley one when I was going through that phase, but this one is the best one. It's just really pretty. Obviously for your skin tone, it all matters, but this is just, it's amazing. I love it, and I'll continue to use it. The palette from Wet n Wild, the only problem I had with that was that one shade, but it ended up working out, and I actually see it on my eye. Like the first thing I see is this shade right here. So I don't think it's bad at all. I actually really like the way the eyes came out. For not cutting my crease, I think it's really nice, and the shadow liner is definitely very cute. Can't really see with the lashes. That's why I don't like dramatic lashes. I put all this work into blending. I want to be able to see my eyeshadow. But this is really nice. I actually really, really like these little guys. You can get this one, or they have like, I think a quad, but it's in the same sort of packaging. I have a bunch of them. All are pretty neutral, so definitely check it out. I keep opening and closing it. I don't know why. The e.l.f. eye primer. I'm so shocked how good this was. This is $3, I think, and it is fantastic. I've definitely seen this around and haven't tried it, so I'll be using this. The mascara is a no. We're not going back to the 80s. I don't understand what people did in the 80s. I'm sorry I had to go through that. Wet n Wild catsuit, it's getting a little weird, like you can see over here when it wasn't like that, but it's nice. I think it's just the shade. I also absolutely love this shade. I think it's so freaking pretty, but I think you have to keep it in your bag or keep it in your card because you're gonna have to constantly touch up. It's not the type of liquid lipstick that's going to fade nicely where it's like, you know, it still looks good but like just comes on the outside. This will fade and not great, so you kind of have to keep touching it up. So my recommendation is to go and get the lighter shades. The lighter ones I've never had a problem with, just the dark ones. I think that's it, guys. I'm sorry if I'm missing anything. I actually really like the way the makeup came out. I think this look is really good for fall. It's also really good for holidays. Like, I think this is a nice look to wear to Christmas or Thanksgiving, especially with the lip. I think it looks super cute. Sorry, my hair is doing weird things. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I really did. I love drugstore makeup, and I try to flood my channel with drugstore makeup. So let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video and of any future suggestions for videos, or if you don't like the schedule or anything like that. Definitely leave it in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, which will be super soon. Alright guys, have a good one. Bye!